When we think about retirement, we usually think about our financial portfolio. Now, money is very important as we move into retirement, but there's another whole dimension of psychological portfolio, things that we have to deal with and embrace as we make the transition into our retirement years. My name is Margaret Manning. I'm with 60andMe, and I want to thank you so much for being here today and being with me on this journey. The transition to retirement is a very challenging period for a lot of women over 60, and I'm happy to share some of my thoughts with you today. So, retirement. Now, this is one of these words that's evolving and changing. It doesn't mean the same as it did 10 years ago. A lot of people are working like me into their 70s, and that's the kind of on-ramp that we're looking at. But a lot of folks are planning their retirement at a certain age, and like I said at the beginning, trying so very hard to organize the financial side of things. You want to have enough money to do the things on your bucket list and to be secure and feel secure. But Harriet Cabley, one of our bloggers, wrote an article on the psychological portfolio that we need to be putting together and preparing ourselves for. Now, these are probably the things for me that were in many ways harder to kind of adjust to, because I had a very wonderful career in a couple of different places, and I really enjoyed the friends there and the reality of the contribution that I was making. But it was time, it was time to move into a separate world when I started 60andMe. So planning for retirement on the psychological elements is really important. And as Harriet talks about, there's all these different dimensions as you move into this new phase of life, and the context for everything changes as you move out of a workplace to a stay-at-home or working from home situation. Everything that we defined ourselves by, everything that we had roots connected to, is now no longer there. And so, we talk a lot about different things that you have to deal with emotionally around retirement, but this is specifically about leaving the workplace and what that means, what impact that has on your life and your feelings. So the bottom line here, and Harriet reminds us of this so well, is just be kind to yourself. This is not going to take a week or a day or even a few months. It can take years to make this transition and to accept the new reality that you have got to deal with when you're not going into an office every day. You're not talking to friends around the water cooler. It's all, a very, very different world. And she's right. We feel a very deep sense of loss sometimes. It's a grieving that we have to go through. And maybe you stayed in touch with your workmates. I certainly have on Facebook and other social media, but it's not the same. It's not the same as going in, having meetings, talking face to face, the hugs, the kind of just the physical reality of being around other people. So what are the losses that are part of retiring? And they're natural, and it's okay to grieve them. It's okay, but then it's also good to look at the positives of what you achieved during that time and why it's okay to move forward. So the loss of your identity is the first thing. There's this sort of sense of the professional role that really dominates your life for so many years. People say, what are you doing? It's like, I am a marketing manager. I am a professional. I'm a nurse. I'm a teacher. I am a professor. I am a accountant. I'm an administrator. Whatever you do, was followed by something. And now it's not followed by something. It's I am retired. And then, of course, when you say that, then people think, oh, you're just out, playing golf, or you're having relaxing time by the beach, traveling, and that's not always the case. You may be really feeling lonely and isolated. So the next thing is this related to that, the loss of social connections. Now, it's easy to make friends when you're at a workplace and you've got the same people you meet every day on your team, or the person that you work for, or the company you work for. Those social connections have activities, events, conferences. There are places to go and, express your talent, be appreciated, and be part of the team. So that social connection is the drama even of a workplace. All the gossip and the things that are going on. That just gives you something to talk about. It gives you a reality. There's also a loss of purpose. Your work gives you that reason for being, that reason to get up in the morning, get dressed, present yourself to the world. And then your job is giving you a paycheck at the end of the month. So it's a fair exchange. And so even when you're not so happy with it, like having to go travel or do a certain kind of meeting or just do a certain kind of job, it may not be fun anymore, is still a purpose. It's still the purpose you have in your life. And even if that purpose is, doing something that you might consider is not a professional job, it could be that you are a waitress. I mean, that's a professional job to me. I couldn't do it. And I did do it once or twice. I was a complete failure. But, that you may think of these non-professional jobs as being, they don't count, but they do. Especially if you're like a chef. I mean, this is something you're cooking for someone else. You're giving them nourishment. If you're a coach, you're whatever you've done gave you purpose. So, and again, this is loss. The next thing is the loss of accomplishment in the sense of productivity. We don't have that 9 to 5 structure anymore. We don't have that, routine. And we are creatures of habit. I think that's true of a lot of people and a lot of women and men, that we actually don't want a lot of we like that rhythm of getting up, having our breakfast, getting dressed, going to the, and when you're younger, dropping the kids off. It's all that kind of routine that makes life have a sense of direction and purpose. But it's really, really important that you, kind of grieve the loss of all these things, the social connections, the sense of purpose related to your job, and then move forward. So what can you do? What are some things you can do to rebuild your life in this new retirement world? Well, a couple of things. Prepare for the new phase in a practical way. Look at the things you really want to be doing with your life. I mean, one thing that I always talk to people about is going back to your childhood and look at what are the things you really loved doing when you were younger. Not so much even your toddler childhood, but your youth, when you were not so in the groove of a career. Write a list of all the things that you love to do and that you want to achieve. Maybe there is an opportunity to start a new business. Maybe there's an opportunity to find some part-time work or to be a consultant, so that you're still sharing the wisdom that you've trained for, that you are good at. Write a list of things that you want to learn. What is something that you've always, I haven't had time to do that because I've been working. What are some of those things? Now, if you've got a reasonable salary or a pension, or you can pull a salary from your savings, that's great. You might have to work part-time. And why not do something, though, that you love? I mean, some people, I remember reading about an attorney, a lawyer, who decided to become a chef. He always wanted to cook. So I think he started a business making cupcakes or something. It was some crazy, unexpected thing. Embrace new possibilities. Seek out the things that you value. Maybe you had to do a job that was in an area or doing something that just really didn't ring true. Maybe you are more interested now in working on something that you feel passionate about. Health, maybe the environment. Maybe you want to do something with that. Helping other people. Maybe you've got some skill that you can offer some free consulting or coaching, just so that that the training that you had, the work you did isn't wasted, that you can align it to your values. And I think that's super important. One of the biggest challenges when we're working for a company is that a lot of times companies evolve over time, and they sometimes take on practices or products or services that you just don't feel really good about. It's just not you anymore. So now you're retired, there's a chance to align yourself more with what you want to do. And of course, look for ways to socialize, yeah? Just go out there, get out, do it. And I know that's it's easy to say that, Margaret, but no, I mean, I have the same challenge. You have to just try, though. Meetup.com, it's a good option. Internations is a good one. There's groups of expats if you're in another part of the world or you've moved to a new city. It doesn't have to be a new country. And Harriet talks about the three things you can do, the 3 R's when you're preparing for the big R, retirement. The first one is to reimagine yourself, look for possibilities, reinvent yourself. It may not be like reinventing from the ground up. It can just be redefining who you are, and then rebuild. And that is the important one, is that once you get to this place and you're feeling a little bit off balance and not grounded anymore, you've got to rebuild the ground. You've got to rebuild the foundation. And at first, it's going to feel very, very challenging and hard, but it's up to you. We can do this. We can do this. And I think we have to have confidence in our ability to survive and thrive in retirement. So what does your retirement portfolio look like? What is your financial portfolio? What does your psychological portfolio look like? How did any of this resonate with you? How are you getting ready for those changes that you're going to have to experience as you move out of the workplace? Leave your comments in the section below. Let's have a chat. This is a great place to just talk, and there's lots of other people here, women that leave comments and just share your own experience. It's what we're here for. It's how we can help each other. So have a fabulous day, everybody. I hope that you're doing well, and let's have a conversation about your psychological portfolio for retirement. Take very good care. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye for now.